We open on a swamp. We pan across the night sky to see a zombie paddling downriver. His red eyes look behind him for what is pursuing. We've yet to see. Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
Hey yo, meddling kids! I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ethan.
And do we know which witch is which? Do we know?
Not yet, but I think we're about to find out.
I think we are. Oh my!
I mean, the real question is which witch owns the winch?
That is the real question. Person who has just walked into our machine. Oh, hello.
Zoinks!
Into the back of our mystery machine, we have the bog witch herself. Haley, say hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm here with you lovely people in the back of this machine in this spooky swamp and or bog. It's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? We got a witch, and it's like, it feels like a bog. So
yeah.
I think this is relevant. I think this is on brand for you.
It really is. It's a wetland. The only real difference is how much water, and is the water moving, and is it acidic or not acidic? So, at the end of the day, wetlands is wetlands. I felt at home in this episode.
I'm so glad. Haley, we would love it if you could introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, your pronouns, and your Scooby-Doo history.
Oh my god. Well, my Scooby-Doo history is very storied. I am Haley. If you don't know me, you can hear more of my dulcet tones over on the restricted section, also a Deus Ex Media production. And my pronouns are she or her or they or whatever. I'm not the most picky. And when it comes to fucking Scooby-Doo history, oh boy.
I can't wait.
I was born in 1991. I am an ancient crone. I am known as a bog witch over on the restricted section. It's kind of a running joke, but it's not inaccurate to the kind of person that I am. And that's why I'm on this episode. But here's the thing. I have visceral memories of this episode and like most of OG Scooby-Doo. Because in 1991, there was no new Scooby content being made, but like the original series and like the weird 80s spin-offs were still reruns. So when I was really little, Scooby-Doo was like my shit. It was like my big show. My parents used to measure time for me in Scoobies. We would be driving to my grandmother's house, and we would still be like half an hour away, and I would say, "Are we there yet?" And my parents would be like, 2 more Scoobies.
That's so fucking cute.
I know.
I love that.
It's painfully wholesome. They had to change my bedtime so I could stay up late enough to watch Scooby-Doo at night. Like, rewatching this episode just brought flashbacks to sitting on the floor staring up at like my old like with the curved front screen TV, like the big fucking box, and watching Scooby-Doo, and like I remember seeing the voodoo doll and everything. It just brings back so much for me. Like, I remember when they started making the made-for-TV movies, I was deeply, profoundly traumatized by Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Yeah.
As we all were. As we all were.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I saw it premiere. I watched the premiere of Scooby-Doo on Zombie. It was the first
Whoa.
new Scooby content that had been created in my entire 6-7 years of life up to that point. I was so stoked, and like all of the commercials were like, this time the monsters are real, and boy were they. Holy shit.
Yeah, they were.
So yeah, I
So-
fucking love Scooby-Doo so much.
God, I'm so glad you're here.
here. Haley, for any other episode you like to come on in the future, like just tell us. Just tell us what you want.
Literally,
Zombie Island.
Zombie Island, true. Like, I will talk about that movie for hours if you let me.
Okay, that's not for a while, but it's definitely something that we can
Hit
get
me
you on
up.
for.
Hit me up. It's not
Absolutely, I
going
have
to
a
change
note.
anytime.
I have a note about it that you're a required guest. So it'll
Hell
be
yes.
I don't know how many years till we get there because we're still in the trenches of the shit.
I think 3 or 4 years.
You've got a
That's
lot of
fine.
content to get through, man.
And
Yeah,
they keep making more.
we're only halfway through the first season of the original show. That's where this episode lands.
Yeah.
Can't believe
And-
it.
And you know, I think the animation kind of tells you that it's the first season.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Oh, it's that 1969 nonsense.
We love it though. Like
We do.
it's of an era and it's amazingly bad.
I really, really remember, like, just watching this, I was just sitting there like, I remember being, like, 4 and thinking that if you get enough of a start running, like, build up your momentum while standing still, you'll make the bongo noise happen.
Oh my god, I love that.
Okay, Haley, not gonna lie to you, I tried to do that
I
as a
know!
child.
Who didn't? I remember thinking Mexican jumping beans were like a thing you would encounter in life.
Same! Like, there's a lot of things that come up in Scooby-Doo that I thought I would see more often, like quicksand, the Bermuda Triangle, Mexican jumping beans.
I felt so lied to.
We were fools.
We were
such
all fools.
Eternal road trips with teenage friend groups.
Yeah.
This is what I thought being a teenager would be like.
Right.
Yeah, just 4 friends and
They-
a dog in a van.
Yeah, they just turn you loose, right?
Yeah, sure. Or Charlie and I, our headcanon is that the gang is one big polycule and Scooby's just there along for the ride.
That does make sense. Every good polycule does need a theme dog. So why not?
Yeah,
why
you
not just the scraggliest Great Dane on the face of the earth that can talk for some reason?
You gotta have
I was
a
like,
mascot.
I was looking up
There's
some
a reason
stuff.
why he looks like that.
You
You know
Yeah,
why?
I looked it up earlier. Like the character designer was asking a friend who bred Great Danes, like, hey, like, what are all of the best qualities that they look for in like a show dog in a Great Dane? And then just did the opposite of all of that for Scooby.
And I love that so much.
I think, Charlie, I think you and I went over that when we did the Decoy for
Yeah.
a Dog Never episode.
I believe we did as well. Yeah, because literally, like, how can we make Scooby into a show dog? Because he was literally designed
Yeah.
not to be.
Yeah, it's like you would have to put him in a corset or something.
That's an image I don't want in my head anymore.
I'm pretty sure Scooby-Doo has worn one at some point.
I'm
I
sure
mean-
Scooby-Doo has worn multiple corsets. Like, there's
Probably.
an episode that goes by where they don't dress up at least once.
Well,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
right now, the picture that's in my head is the live action Scooby Doo where he's in the big floppy hat and the dress and getting on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
There's
this
probably
is
a corset
actually
in there somewhere.
this I think is a rare episode where when they dress up, Shaggy ends up being in drag instead of Scooby. Like-
Yeah, that's interesting.
Usually Scooby ends up in Scooby on it, like, I think it's because Shaggy, like, is so gangly and weird that Scooby literally makes a more convincing woman.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's the scruff on the face.
But, Scooby technically has more scruff on his face, so...
He does.
He just has more scruff everywhere.
Aside from having the fur, he also has whiskers, so... It's not it's not like Shaggy's beard is going to be any less convincing.
No.
Well,
but it is fitting that this was the one time and he was dressed as a witch and it actually worked.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're bound to succeed at least once.
At least once. Let's get into this freaking episode. Which witch is which?
Yes.
So yeah, we open on the zombie, and then of course the gang is on a road trip once again. And then Scooby. What the fuck is Scooby doing?
Well,
He's fishing in a bucket.
Well, they were fishing, you see, and they didn't catch anything. And Scooby decided, I can't go home empty-handed. So he's fishing in a bucket, naturally.
I love that he's just using like the hook on his tail, and like that's it. His tail is the fishing rod.
It's called resourcefulness.
Yeah.
I want to know if like beforehand maybe he like just scooped a fish into the bucket and that's
the fish is
the thing that happens at the end.
Yeah, the fish has just been chilling in there like, I'm not falling for this shit. I know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Either that or the fish just comes out of nowhere. But I think it's almost funnier if he like did this specifically to play a joke on the others.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, ha!
And Freddy is taking a shortcut, which, why would you trust him to take a shortcut?
Fred, why?
Listen, if a man tells you he knows a shortcut, do not let him do that.
Yeah, but he's also the one driving, unfortunately.
True.
I know.
But this man should have asked for directions, like better directions. This is not good. We see our hitchhiker on the road, and who is it? It's a zombie.
Yeah. Hello, kind sir.
Moans in response.
Yeah. Just like the plan here, because obviously there's a scam going on. There's a scam in every episode, is to scare people away, quote unquote, from this swamp. Spoilers. And like, so have they just been hanging out on that road for the past 6 months, just in case someone comes by, just so they can grunt at them?
I assume that like whoever, I mean, they take turns. Like one of them is like, okay, I'm gonna like check the road, make sure if somebody's coming by, I'm gonna deter them. I'm gonna get them the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then the other one is searching.
Right.
You know? I assume that's what's going on. And then the kid's like fucked it.
Right. Like it's always a deeply convoluted scheme. It's just like there doesn't seem to have been that many people around here to begin with. So
no.
you just happen to be on the right road at the right time to make sure that the one truck that's come along here in presumably days or weeks gets scared off.
It makes me wonder why, like, it seems like their plan's working. Like nobody's coming by.
No.
The only reason they even showed up here is because they're lost.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. If this were not in the 60s and it were in the age of like, you know, security cameras and all that shit, I would assume they would have like a trap set up where there's like a camera and then like there's a trigger that like, ooh, spooky thing. So
right.
They, like, get off the road and that's how it would go instead.
Yeah. No, they don't have that kind of funding, but they do have the funding for very realistic rubber masks, apparently.
Yep.
Listen, Charlie and I have already established that all Scooby-Doo villains were theater kids.
Oh, yeah.
So
surely.
All of them. They're dramatic as fuck. They're theater kids.
What I do love most is that, like, Shaggy asks this, like, gets through the whole question, very politely asking for directions. The zombie grunts, And then Shaggy, notoriously paranoid, yells zombie, and Fred, without questioning this even a little bit, even at all, from the far side of the gigantic 60s van, just zooms away. And then, like, they find the general store down the road, and they're like, hey, dude, at the general store, what's with the zombie in your woods? Like,
And he's like,
we're like, we've fully skipped, like, yeah, no, like, there's no way that was a zombie, Shaggy. That's ridiculous. No, we've jumped straight to, hey, sir, what's with the zombie?
Yeah, I feel like there's not as much skepticism in early Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more like, oh my god, we're high. That shit is scary. We gotta get out of here.
And then, like, Velma is just, the only reason they go to investigate further is because Velma's like, I want to know more about the zombie.
Of course she does.
So, a little bit of background knowledge for y'all. Zombies weren't really in public consciousness until a year before this episode came out.
Huh.
Because that was when George Romero's Night of the Living Dead came out.
Really?
Yeah. And before that, they were just like I think it was Haitian folklore is where they came from.
Yes. I assume why we also have voodoo here.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably. But George Romero, he honestly didn't even know what he was doing when he made Night of the Living Dead. He thought he created something entirely new, but then people were like, "Oh, these are zombies," and he just went along with it. So zombies are very much in the public zeitgeist when this episode was probably being written at the very least.
Okay, but like they were the zeitgeist from a movie is the thing. So it's like, sir, there's a zombie in your forest. Ah, yes, I know the zombie of which you speak. But I guess it does make sense that, like, if we're assuming the show is also taking place in 69, that, like, these two weirdos in the swamp would be like, I have a plan, Zeb, for how we're going to dig out the armored car we hid in the swamp all those years ago. Have you seen the new pictures at the film house?
Well, they're theater nerds.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, they were just like, we gotta go see all the new movies. We didn't get cast in this one, but, like, it's pretty good. So they know all about the zombie shit happening in the movies.
Yeah, we'll just come up with, like, a nonsense incantation and, like, a stereotypical witch. And, yeah, sure, zombie, rose from the flames, get off our lawn.
Why couldn't one Scooby-Doo villain just be like some guy yelling, "Get off my lawn"? That was it.
Isn't that essentially what they're doing?
Yes, but it's so elaborate.
But they do it and they have to wear costumes. I'm just like, why can't it just be some old guy being like, "Get out of my fucking business"?
Because they're theater kids and they want to wear a costume. Yeah.
Exactly. This is why they're theater kids.
No, you're not wrong. I was honestly thinking the same thing.
I'm glad we're on the same page. So yeah, he tells this this whole story about the freaking witch, him and his buddy went frog hunting.
Are you sure it's just his buddy, Charlie?
Yeah, sure? He did say me and my partner.
He did say his partner. I'm sorry, they're life partners, clearly in the 60s.
Again, theater kids. Not that surprising. Listen, even in the 60s.
They're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Who's gonna do anything about it?
Not me. Not this polycule.
No.
Not the people they drove out of the town.
Exactly. So they're like, oh yeah, we saw a witch summoning a zombie. Blah, blah, blah. He came from the flames. And ever since, the swamp is off limits. Nobody goes in. It's scary.
Nobody ever goes in. Nobody ever comes out.
Spooky, spooky, spooky.
And then Scooby eats Mexican jumping beans and has a jumping accident,
totally real.
Which is what happens when you eat Mexican jumping beans, as we all know. Genuine threat.
I've never encountered these in my life.
I had to look up what they were. It's a type of, like, I think it's like a seed pod that a caterpillar grows in, and then, like, while it's like a pod that the eggs are laid in, and then the caterpillars, and it looks like a seed pod. But anyway, like the caterpillars kind of, as they grow, they kind of jerk around, and it makes the pod kind of move. And apparently it's like a thing where it's supposed to help them find shade so they don't get cooked in the sun before they hatch. But
that's cool.
It's like a novelty thing, so they just look like these little seed pods that jump around on their own.
And you can buy 30 of them on Amazon for $17.24.
Yep.
It's such like a random shenanigan. I know Scooby-Doo is full of random shenanigans, but I'm just like,
it's like it
should be brought back.
No, it was a cultural trope at the time. It was kind of like sea monkeys. Like, you could buy them back then too, but like through like magazine catalogs and stuff. So they would have like fun kids magazines of like interesting things from around the world, except it's like kind of imperialisty still. And like you would have little order catalogs of like, buy sea monkeys, buy Mexican jumping beans. They jump around on their own. It's magical because TV isn't good yet. Like, like they were very, very common just as a cultural trope, but they simply do not work this way.
No, they do not. But Scooby jumped and he made a mess.
Yep. And then Velma says, I want to know more about that zombie. And so we have to investigate the zombie.
Yep, we have to investigate.
Yep. So Scooby and Shaggy go by themselves to Zeb's place, which looks like it's been... I've been watching the Fallout show on Prime. Looks like it's straight out of that.
Oh, fun. So I guess tells me some things.
And then they find a creepy voodoo doll of Zeb stuck full of pins.
The fact that Shaggy's like, I think I found Zeb. It's like,
I was sitting there like, oh my god, it's a body! And then I pulled out a doll. I was like, oh god, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't find a body. Not
like,
at least in 1969, Scooby-Doo.
For a hot second, I really was like, was 60s TV this dark? I don't remember them finding a dead body. Oh, it was a voodoo doll. I do remember the voodoo doll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of voodoo and as well, like the zombie thing in this episode.
None of which seems to be
about that.
No, like none of it seems to be at all connected to like actual voodoo or like Haitian culture.
Yeah.
Like the witch is very decidedly a Wicked Witch of the West type witch. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like she's not chanting in tongues or like French or anything else. Like she's just yelling like smoke of darkness, demon of evil. Like these guys may be theater kids, but they are not writers, you know? Like there's nothing to culturally connect this to actual Haitian voodoo. Like they just seem to have thrown the word voodoo in there to be like, yeah, it's like magic, but it's a different word for magic, so it's more plausible. Ooh.
Haley, there are actors and there are writers. Not everybody can do both.
I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying these guys can.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, this is what I wanted to say. So like despite the name, they're not really prominent in Haitian voodoo or Louis according to this. I know there's like something about them that's like not actually true.
The dolls or what are you referring to?
The dolls.
Okay.
The voodoo dolls themselves are like not really a thing. I mean, I think they are now at least. So I have actually been to New Orleans. They do sell a shit ton of the little dolls there. They're not quite the same, but I feel like it's one of those like touristy things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, it's what it is sympathetic. It's just like you have something that symbolizes the thing and then you do shit to it.
Right.
To make something happen.
Right.
That's all it be. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say. So
Zeb is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
got a lot of fucking pins in him.
Yeah. Ooh. Leave these woods, or you too will be stuck with pins.
Just hilarious that Shaggy was just like, I thought this was a person. It's not.
It's not even the same
dang, I have to explain it.
size. Like,
It's like she turned him into a doll.
it's like that scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where one of the villagers says, "She turned me into a newt."
I got better.
Yep.
I mean, in the last episode of Scooby-Doo, they were turning people into the stone, literally.
That's true.
So, like...
Yeah, I guess Shaggy could be traumatized by that. Like, I don't know, maybe people can't be turned into other things. You don't know, I don't know, we don't know.
They're like, there's a witch here, clearly it can just happen.
The normal rules of magic don't apply. She said smoke of darkness, demon of evil.
So we gotta keep investigating, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
We go in on a boat. Tons of scary signs. I'm gonna get this right. This would be an alligator.
Correct.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I always
Alligators are from North America. Crocodiles are everywhere else.
Exactly. I always fuck that shit up. So we find the witch's house. Haley, do you want to move in?
I feel like the derelict riverboat is kinda at an angle, which I don't love. But if it's free real estate, it's free real estate. I feel like I can fix the place up, especially if the winch comes with the riverboat. I think I can use the winch to maybe, like, straighten it out a little bit, get it a little more structurally sound. I think the place has good bones. It's also got a lot of trap doors, which I don't hate. I think that's a really good feature in a domicile. I would take the riverboat. I think I can fix it up.
I think we have a meme for this episode. It's gonna be you being like, "It's free real estate."
It is free real estate.
Love that. Whoever's editing this episode, make that meme.
That's the required meme.
I think it's me. Let me double check. Yeah, it's me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Have fun with that.
I will.
All right. So we go into the house and we find already made voodoo dolls of the gang.
These guys work fast.
Yeah, they do.
One of them is a crafter.
Yeah, like the opening sequence of Coraline with like changing the doll, like all of the little doodads and such. Like all of that shit's got to take time, and these guys just produced right away.
Yeah,
just had them. It's been less than 3 hours.
Actually.
Right.
Like they sell shit online.
Well, it's not like anyone's coming by that general store.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's how they, supplement their income. Am I saying things
Yeah,
right?
I think you're on the right track,
Until
Charlie.
They're only
get the bank car.
They're only participating in this fucking gig economy until they find the armored car.
Yeah.
Or a good acting gig somewhere.
Or they actually get hired for their great acting. Seriously.
So the armored car is really the priority, is what we're saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
The armored car is the priority because, which is gonna get you money faster? This general store, this Etsy business, or your acting? I think the bank car is gonna get you money faster.
Yeah, than all three of those put together, which you are already doing, apparently. Yep. Yeah. What I love about, the whole sequence on that boat is that, sometimes the camera will, cut to the witch and or zombie just, by themselves, and they're, they are fully in character. We know it's guys in masks. We know it's a pair of fishermen in masks, and they are still like,
This is method acting TM. Take notes, Jared Leto. You could never.
So the witch appears in the doorway, and she's like, "I'm gonna teach you a lesson." Mwahaha. But she's got the whole puff of smoke. That's her whole thing. We gotta do puff of smoke.
It's
So she makes
smoke
Daphne
of darkness.
Ooh, smoke of darkness. Sorry. So Daphne disappears. Witch disappears. Oh no, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna look for clues.
Yeah. My favorite detail of this house is that she just has a portrait of herself on the wall, and I keep seeing it every time it flips back to the gang because it's right behind them, and I'm like, is she over their shoulder? No, that's just
I missed that.
I did too.
A portrait of the witch. The witch has a portrait of the witch.
Yes. That's
Listen,
what I
I'm
think is
sure.
Which witch has a portrait of the witch?
I'm sure that they got super bored because nobody comes to this podunk general store in the middle of a swamp, and it was just like, hey, why don't we paint you in costume and hang up the painting in the house?
You know, I feel like this must confirm that Zeb is the crafter of the two of them, because it seems that Zeb must have painted the portrait, because otherwise, the other guy would have to sit for it, you know? Like, he would have to put the costume on and then sit for the portrait. So, like, if Zeb is the painter, that kind of stands to reason that Zeb would also be making these puppets. Like, I think Zeb is the other guy's kept man. Like, I think that's the dynamic here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just realizing another scheme that they should have run instead of, like, scaring people away here with, like, our weird bank car thing. Just make it into a tourist trap, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, sell your, like, little voodoo dolls.
And
like,
you could be in character
merch.
all the time.
Exactly.
Right.
You get to act. This is your acting business.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
It's like, honestly, this is the most literal example of a sunk cost fallacy I've ever seen. They actually sunk the cost.
Really? Wild.
Because they could have fucking made a killing as a tourist trap, but no, gotta find our sunk armored car.
Nope. Sunk armored car. Most important thing.
Men are dumb.
All right. Yes, they are. I'm glad you said it.
Oh my god.
So, Daphne actually went through a trapdoor.
Yep.
We figure out where the trapdoor was, and
I love how clear the footprints in the rug are.
Like, seriously, nowhere else. Just
you can see the streak mark through the.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So Zeb apparently was also tech or set design or.
Is Zeb doing all of the work here?
No, I think that Zeb's doing all the the other guy.
Zeke?
I forgot.
I think it's Zeb and Zeke. I think they're literally Zeb and Zeke. I think Zeke is the diva of the two of them, because, like, no, it does
Zeke
make
is the
sense.
diva. Yeah,
Like,
Zeke is the diva.
Zeb does
but
all
he's
of the
the
props
one-
and costuming.
Yeah, but Zeke is the one who's like the actor, and he also like runs the business.
Okay, so
That's what he does.
Zombie, Zeb is the witch, is what this says here. That's it.
Okay,
I feel like that's backwards.
maybe we flip them around. I don't know.
I don't know here. So we gotta go to our riverboat. And we followed the footprints, and we gotta go search for Daphne because our girl is captured once again, as she does.
Yep. So now there's a boat inside the boat, and we find a metal-tipped pole, I believe, and a winch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does
first
a
we see our
witch
metal tip
need?
pole,
Yeah, what does
and
a
we're like, why?
witch need with a winch?
A witch or a wench or a winch?
Or a wenchy
Listen.
witch with a winch?
Listen, whatever she does behind closed doors is her business.
So Shaggy and Scooby are off searching for Daphne or clues. But Shaggy's like mad right now that he's stuck with Scooby because Scooby's scared. Bruh,
Yep.
you're always scared. Shut the fuck up.
Right. Well, Scooby's teeth are chattering like apparently very loudly because he's scared.
Mhm.
You ever
I
have
do too.
anxiety and then your other friend has even worse anxiety, and their worse anxiety is making your anxiety worse, and you're mad at them for having worse anxiety than you? That's what's going on
Yes.
here.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yes. I know that feeling.
Yes.
So, what do? We open a random box that, like, you know, it's the size of a person. Okay, could there be something in it?
This whole
Just some
thing
nice shoes.
attached.
Sure.
Like, it feels like a D&D quest, Like, all
yeah,
of this.
it does.
It's like, they opened the box and I was like, that's a mimic. That's clearly a mimic. And, I wasn't wrong.
You're right.
No, yeah, the zombie's just a giant tongue just coming out of the box.
That's what the shoes are attached to. They find a nice pair of shoes attached to a zombie. It's the zombie.
Yes.
He was in the box.
It's a zombie.
He was waiting in the box because he knew they would open the box.
Because the drama?
Because the
They're
drama.
all about the drama.
They're all about the drama.
Are they wizards?
All theater kids are
well,
wizards.
there's a witch. There's a
There
witch.
is a
There's
witch.
There is a witch. Therefore, I mean, we all know wizards are all about the drama, and theater kids are also all about the drama.
Mm-hmm,
So,
what's the
same
difference? That's going in my lexicon now. Anytime two things are similar enough, I'm gonna be like, yeah, same gender.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
Because
Thank
I
you.
can be like the two genders because they're the same.
Yeah,
So,
Mhm.
same
they
gender.
really are.
All right. So where are we now? Scooby and Shaggy have run from the zombie a little bit. They're chilling in one of the rooms on this boat. It's a fancy evening room, and they're playing poker, I think?
They needed an
Supposed to
excuse
be.
to dress up.
They did.
They're always looking for excuses to dress up.
Yeah, right now they're in top hats and coats.
Are they also theater kids?
Probably.
I mean, we know Shaggy's a bard. Haley, this is my running theory. Shaggy has to be a bard because one of my favorite gags of early Scooby-Doo is that he does ventriloquism. You don't see it super often, but it's every few episodes in, like, the early stuff.
Oh my
That
god,
he's like,
you're right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna throw my voice so they think I'm over there, and then I'll run the other direction or something. Like, he does that. And I'm like, this is a bard. This man is a bard.
Huh. Yeah.
Thank
no,
you.
like I really was getting D&D party vibes off of like just the way this whole thing unfolds. Like the whole time. It really is like the only thing that doesn't feel D&D about it is that they split the party.
Yeah. No, that's
You should not ever do that, listeners. If you've ever played D&D or if you haven't, don't split the party. It's a very bad plan.
Yep. Maybe that should be our episode for when we finish Where Are You? Is that we'll finally be like, okay, this is their D&D stuff. That's what we'll put it in. That'll be our bonus in between seasons.
We should both do them separately and then compare our
Yes.
lists. Okay.
I mean, you know I already have some notes on this subject.
Oh, you definitely do. You've made that very clear.
Mm-hmm. I may be changing some things, but
That's okay. Though people
I have
have
ideas.
people have made a homebrew subclass for bard that's a chef. I forget what the name of it is, but like
interesting. Why chef?
yeah,
For a
well,
bard.
culinary arts. This is another way of expressing yourself.
Yeah, true.
True. I don't know. That's I feel like that wouldn't be bard though. I feel like that could be one of the.
I mean, like artistic expression is the bard's whole thing. It doesn't have to be like music necessarily.
No. My brain is like it should be oratory. If you know what I mean.
Sure.
That's where my brain goes with bard. I'm just like, it needs to be either the written word or the sung word, or like you need to be telling a story. But like, I guess if you're telling a story with the food, yeah, I don't know.
Which you can do.
I also think that the chef
I'm thinking
could
about
also fall
Ratatouille.
under-
Oh my god!
No, you're right. No, Remy from Ratatouille would be a bard chef.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like if chef can be a subclass of anything, bard is kind of the only one that makes sense. So it doesn't not work.
The College of Cuisine is what it's called. By Kobold Press. If they make like supplemental books for D&D.
See, now I'm going to be thinking about this for the rest of the day. I'm going to be like, which other class would that work with?
I mean, Andrew also from Restricted Section, and I are also in a D&D party together, and his character right now is a fighter that is also a chef, and all of his weapons are chef-themed. So he has like a giant hammer that's like a big meat tenderizer, and a pot lid as a shield. Like Zelda.
Hear me out.
Iconic.
What if there was like a druid chef thing going on? Because like they're nature and like also animals, and I'm just like, okay. So anything that comes to the natural world,
Yeah, but it would be vegan, wouldn't
food.
it?
Not
It could be
necessarily. I
vegan, it
mean,
doesn't have
like,
to be.
because like Circle of the Moon Druids, they're like all about turning into animals. Like that's Wild Shape is like they just take it and run with it.
Hmm.
So like could be, doesn't have to be.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like I'm trying to think here. I mean, I feel like the other obvious one could be artificer, just shit. They
This
just
is the
make
kind.
shit.
This
But
is the
they
kind of
already have
thing.
alchemy.
This is the kind of thing that you have to like take aside and like write up a scholarly like rebuttal to the notion that bards could only like the only way that a chef could be a subclass is with a bard. Like your
You gotta
fucking
write some
academic
scholarly
thesis.
Time to write some scholarly papers about who would be a chef, a bard, or a druid, or an artificer. Okay, Scooby-Doo is where we were at, and I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
We're halfway through the episode and 45 minutes into the recording. Love that for us.
Scooby and Shaggy just like ran through a door. They're hiding, and Fred is calling for Daphne.
Because Velma
And then-
keeps telling him to call. Like, Velma literally says, "Call for her again, Fred." And then Fred keeps like, "Velma, why does Fred have to do it?"
She wants him to feel useful because she is like thinking of ideas and seeing all the different clues around her. Although then for some reason she does something that I feel is very like Velma with no brain cells, Velma without glasses would do.
But she's wearing her glasses, is the thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
have this
most
theory,
Rube
Haley.
Goldberg shit I've seen
I have this
in this
theory
episode
that
thus
when-
far.
When her glasses are gone, all of her brain cells disappear.
Yeah.
And that's why every time she doesn't have her glasses, she
Well,
fuck.
That's why her glasses are so big. They hold her knowledge.
Fuck off. Thank you.
I have to edit that later.
Amazing. Oh, okay.
Like,
thank you, Haley. I love that
You're
so
so
much.
welcome. She does like what does she fucking? She's like, this always works in the movies, and then like pulls on a lantern, and the lantern
Why would it be
breaks.
the lantern? Who said it
I
would
don't-
be that?
What fucking movies? I don't know. I would have to know more about 60s film and like haunted house traps
Or
in-
earlier.
Yeah, I guess.
So it like bounces all the way around and then it hits the axe.
Yeah,
which
no,
clearly that's what it was.
no, yeah, like because she pulls the lantern breaks, she falls backward onto a soap brush, which I can
Yes,
only
right.
assume that Zeb was fucking cleaning the ship while Zeke was off fucking at his fancy general store, and then like the soap flies and hits the axe, and then like the axe obviously is how they get through the trap door, because this boat is just replete with trap doors for some fucking reason. And then Freddy's like, "That's no movie I've ever seen," and then Velma's like, "Must have been a soap opera." Crowd goes wild.
Yeah, no, I was laughing at that a lot.
That did get me. I love a good pun, and I hate that about myself.
Why would you hate that? Puns are good. The best part of this episode is right next, where they come to where Daphne is being held. She's underneath a blanket or a sheet or whatever. They're like, "Oh, it's a ghost!" But then Velma's like, "That muffled noises sound is Daphne. It sounds like Daphne." I'm like, Velma,
Why
how do you know this?
do you know
How?
what muffled Daphne groaning sounds like?
Listen, what the gang does behind closed doors is their business.
Are we counting the doors of the van as closed doors? Because the mystery
are-
machine does have windows.
They are
have
doors, they are
curtains, clearly.
closed.
They must have curtains that go up when they're using it as a shag van. So
I'm sure they
I
do.
hope so.
or they just go into like some random woods somewhere. That's what they do. They go into the random
Yeah.
woods and they're like, "We're gonna shag." Oh,
Or
wait,
she's-
never mind. There's
Or
the
she's
mystery.
Or she's just used to hearing Daphne in various closets getting,
True.
absolutely
True.
railed while she's doing all of the work in various haunted houses.
Listen, Velma has to de-stress somehow. And we know that Daphne and Velma have been into each other from the beginning.
Interesting. Velma's a top.
That's a bold statement, Charles.
That's what I was getting from this. That's what I'm getting from it. That's why she.
I don't know. I get princess vibes from Daphne.
I see it.
Like she might. I feel like Daphne might. What's the phrase? I believe bottom from the top or top from the bottom. I can never keep them straight.
That's right here. Yeah, no, I can also see that.
Yeah. That is an interesting fucking observation from Velma. Anyway, it's Daphne under the sheet.
And there we go. There we have the winch. There we find the winch,
Yes.
and we're like, why? What's happening here? Why do we have a pole and a winch?
Mhm.
So the winch appears, and we have to run. Oh no, she's flying and following us. Ah!
How do we get out of this swamp? Let's use this very poorly designed airboat.
First, we gotta go down the coal chute.
Oh, right, the coal chute.
Yep.
They're like, oh yeah, we landed in coal. Oh no.
Well, Scooby and Shaggy are still running away from the zombie. Or at least trying to.
Yeah, they're having a whole fucking adventure with that.
Yeah, they come out of the whatever closet they were hiding in. They're like, okay, be really quiet, really quiet. Okay, why do I have two shadows? Oh, look, the zombie was following us the whole fucking time. And then we gotta run. And then this is when we get Shaggy and Drag.
Yeah, Draggy.
You read my mind, Haley. You read my fucking mind.
Beautiful. Amazing. The mop really works for him.
It does. It's
I love
a
that
good
the zombie is just so taken aback. Like, what?
and then like kind of falls for it too. Like I feel like the eye holes in that mask must really suck, and he like just fully cannot see what's going on. It's like
or the contacts are really irritating his eyes.
Yeah, like it's like a David Tennant and Good Omens situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I just figured that he was just like, really? This is what you're doing? Huh? And he's like, I want to see where this is going? Huh.
You know what? I'm gonna keep
like,
yes-anding this.
Yeah. He sees the dog tail and he's just like...
This completely broke my suspension of disbelief. This right here. You cannot bring your dog into the scene just because you want your dog in the scene, okay?
It's giving, I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism? Yeah. Yep.
So he grabs Scooby's tail, which Scooby does not notice.
Yep. And then the costume is like off of them. We gotta run. Oh shit, there's the witch. Oh shit, there's the zombie. Oh shit, there's the witch. Oh shit, there's the zombie. They literally we're just running down the same runway like 5 different times.
Sometimes the animation budget needs to be stretched.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Shaggy with the thing in the broom. Like he does that's like what you do with baseball bats to figure out who goes first, right? I remember. I watched High School Musical too.
Like I do.
Whoop, she's back.
Okay. What did I miss?
Nothing.
Okay. I do miss like I feel like visual gags aren't as much of a thing in cartoons anymore as like it was such a cornerstone at this time. Like just taking a second aside to do a silly little bit with the villain, because why not?
Why not? We gotta commit to the bits.
Yeah, always.
And this is where they get the broom, and Shaggy's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fly!" Falls like through a floor into the boat. Finds the rest of the gang. We're getting the fuck out of here.
The most conveniently placed boat I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, briefly they think that Shaggy is the witch.
Yeah.
He had the purple cape on him still.
Yeah, he was really embodying the character, He really was the witch. for that
Mhm.
moment.
Sure, I'll believe it.
This is
Let's
just
go
an
with
episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Yep. And then like, oh no, there's the witch. Ah! But this is which witch is which? This is one of the doesn't matter. She's got a balloon.
Yeah.
There's some very sophisticated balloons.
Yeah, well, because she's floating. How is the ghost
Yes.
floating? It's a
My brain just went to like a balloony from Phineas and Ferb.
Yes!
Haley, do you know this? Do you know this reference?
I don't know that I do.
Okay, you need to look this information up.
Okay.
Balloony, Phineas and Ferb. Look at his face. That's it.
It's a balloon with a very realistic human face.
That is so slow. Oh, I hate that. I hate that a lot.
That was another
That-
cartoon I watched as a child.
Oh my god.
You know, this was a little after my time, but yeah, I'm gonna take it away. Take it away. Take it away. What did that fucking?
Okay. So we're
No,
escaping.
no, that looks like someone. That looks like someone. That looks like a dude. Who does that look like? It's someone who came
I
up
never
in a
thought
lot
he
of
looked like
Scooby Doo
anyone
episodes. No, it's the guy. It's like a dude who played It's a dude who played Igor a lot. Hang on. I'm getting this.
Oh no. Y'all, we're so close. I'm so sorry.
Which version of Frankenstein are you looking for, Haley?
It's like, it's not even a version of Frankenstein. There were like multiple episodes of Scooby-Doo that were like, they had, you know how they, like, Vincent Price or like characters based on Vincent Price would come up a lot?
Mhm.
This was
Yeah.
like that. It was like some dude who had like a very Igor type vibe, just like in general. And, you know, he always talked like this, and he kind of looked like that creepy balloon thing. Like, it...
Oh no, Haley.
Oh, sorry. I was doing a really good impression of him, too.
You were! That was fantastic.
It's okay. I think we're gonna be fine because we're losing you for 2 seconds.
I lost you guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be okay.
Okay. I'm gonna continue with the episode if you can find this.
Okay.
Before we're done.
I will find
let
it
us know.
later, and yeah, because I think me looking for it is what's fucking up my internet.
That's okay. We don't have to worry about that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we're running away, and then we can't stop the boat. So we just dropped the fucking anchor. We lost Haley again. But it's okay. You're fine. You're
It's
good.
okay. It's okay.
We're
We
getting there.
dropped the fucking anchor. And that it stops us. It sure stops the boat. What's on the anchor? It's the fucking bank car. Why? What? Sure.
It's
Why
mystery
not?
solved by Velma and no one else, but I'm sure we'll find out what she figured out eventually.
I mean,
Listen,
she figured out that they
she's
wanted
got-
the money.
She's got all the brain power of the entire group.
As long as her
She
glasses are on.
That's
As
true.
long as her glasses are on. That's where we hide the brain cell.
Yeah.
The question is, does Velma use the brain cells during? Because as a
I don't
glasses
know
wearer
for you.
myself, I do not have them on.
I don't have an answer for you here. I'm sorry.
I feel like you don't need that many brain cells during sex, right?
no,
Nah,
no.
that's when primal brain takes over.
Yeah, autopilot.
So we trick the zombie and the witch with the bags, the bank bags that Shaggy and Scooby hide in to try to catch them.
And then
We
the
have
witch and zombie are still in character, alone in
Yep.
the woods as far as they know, still fully in character. Money, the money.
Yep. And our convoluted plan is that Fred will just snap a branch at them, make them go flying,
Mhm.
and send them into the bank car.
Well, they'll go flying into a wagon and then roll downhill
wagon.
into the bank car. It's foolproof, Charlie. Foolproof.
Totally foolproof.
Obviously.
Except Scooby also gets stuck there with the bad guys. Shaggy thankfully has a fishing rod and can fish them out.
We came full
And
fucking
Yes.
circle.
Because you can definitely fish a 160-pound dog in a money bag out of a moving wagon.
Yes, correct. So we capture them. We get the sheriff. It's like, hey, look, don't you recognize who it could be? It's obviously the only two people we met during this episode. I mean, we only
Zeb and
technically met one
Zeke.
of them. We only met one of
Yep.
them, but we know the other one lived down the road. So
Right.
Yeah.
We found a doll of him, which is basically the same thing. It's Zeb and Zeke, and or Zeke and
we knew what he
Zeb.
looked like.
Who knows?
So they hijacked the car. They sunk it in the swamp, and then they waited to go find it. By pulling this little scheme.
Though it
Yeah.
really sucks that
Mhm.
we had to have queer villains for this episode. Why can't? Why
Aw,
can't? we
well.
do
Have we not
nice
done that
things?
before, though?
We have. It's just like it
We
just
keep
seems more
headcanoning
prominent
the
here.
Village Square.
Yeah. Well, like
Yeah.
I'm sure at the time this was written, when they said partner, they meant like fishing partner. Like
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
business
absolutely.
partner.
right.
That's probably
No,
what they meant.
no, like I think with fishing, especially in like swamps, or I think with fishing, especially in like swamps or like dangerous areas, it's like you gotta have a partner. Like if you go
Yeah.
alone,
Yeah.
you will get like eaten by an alligator and no one will know what happened to you. But I mean, these two
Yeah.
did feel uniquely fucking married. Like,
Right.
who else do you pull a long-term heist with?
Oh no.
Who else do you
Okay.
pull a long-term heist with?
Yeah. I mean, whoever you're with,
your life
that you're in
partner.
for life.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, your life partner.
Whether that's
I mean,
a life of
it's-
crime or a life in prison.
Hey.
I mean, I have
Life
referred to
partners
my
in
girlfriend
crime.
as my partner in crime occasionally, so be gay, do
There
crimes.
you go.
Yeah.
Be gay, do crimes. I think
And,
that's the moral of the story.
and you'll get away
Uh,
with it unless there's some meddling kids.
They did call them meddling at one point, and I was like, yeah. Good shit.
But we don't get the
Okay.
line outright.
No, we don't. It's true. So, my friends, do you know what time it is?
It's terror time.
Time again. Let's do some trivia.
Let's do it.
So, as we do with Scooby Doo, we don't have the same sheriff in every episode because, like, we're traveling the United States, possibly.
Friends
So
draft
once again,
dodging.
Sure.
You can't stay in one place.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why they travel all the place.
Mhm.
Fred doesn't want to get
Yeah.
drafted.
Ah.
So
It's one way to do it.
We get new sheriffs all the time, and this one is actually like the same model as the one for What a Night for a Night. So maybe
Hmm.
they went to the same town again. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Unclear.
he's like a
Maybe.
county sheriff, and this is just like a town in the county.
Or he moved.
And they, or he
He
moved.
moved. Sure.
He got transferred. You know, he got transferred to the swamp.
Yeah, he wasn't getting enough action with the one museum that had a stolen suit of armor that one time.
So he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to the swamp. There we go.
Maybe this was like he decided to retire young, and this was supposed to be his easy assignment, and now he's got a haunted swamp on his hands.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Oh well. So that the little rhyme that Shaggy uses to distract the zombie would later be used in the Powerpuff Girls, which I think we
Mhm.
all knew that by this point. But
I mean, he didn't make it up. I think this rhyme.
No,
existed
it's
before. Yeah.
no, it's a I think it's a public domain like nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. What is it? Snips
and snails and puppy dog
tails.
tails. I'm not sure
Puppy
what
dog
snips
tails,
are supposed to be.
That's a great
Um,
question.
I feel like my brain immediately goes to toenail clippings.
No, I don't think that.
What else could it be?
I have a
Let's take a
fun
look.
fact for y'all. Because I've been watching My Little Pony again. I'm rewatching it. There's characters named Snips and Snails.
What show
As,
is
like, a little
this?
reference. I just said My Little Pony. Friendship is
Oh,
Magic.
I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like
Wow.
their little cutie marks are like scissors and then a snail,
Ah,
That's cute.
and they're like best buddies, and
That's
they're
really
really dumb.
cute.
It's
I love
cute.
that.
And I was like, I know that. I know what that is. I get that reference.
I get that. I get that reference.
Did you find what you were looking for, Ethan?
The answer is unclear.
Okay.
So the rhyme can have many different versions where other words instead of snips include snaps, frogs, snakes, or slugs. But one possible explanation is that it's just for alliteration.
Makes sense.
I'm sticking with toenail clippings.
Go for it. As someone who was a boy, that did come up relatively often.
As someone who was a boy.
I'm a man now.
You're a man.
Be a man, you must be swift as the coursing.
Thank you, Haley.
You don't go to Weenie
You're
Hut
welcome.
Juniors anymore. You just go to regular Weenie Hut.
You go to Weenie Hut General.
Exactly.
Sorry, Weenie Hut General. I'm sorry. Okay, so the zombie disguise in this episode is actually reused. It is very iconic. The episode that it's used in is another one that's actually more about voodoo shit.
Great.
Yeah, the episode Mamba Wamba and the Voodoo Hoodoo.
I cannot wait for the amount of racism we're going to experience with that.
I wish we could wait longer. I hate that episode.
Charlie,
yeah.
I was being sarcastic.
I know. Yeah, it's an episode from the Scooby-Doo show, so...
Yep.
I'll be on next season.
At the very least, that's not a bad pun. Just, because voodoo and hoodoo are, two related schools of magic, so, it also sounds like whodunit, so, alright, props for the pun, I guess.
I feel like they could have spelled it, actually, like hoodoo.
Right.
You know? Actually,
WHODO, or, what?
Yeah, who does that? But there might actually be an episode or something.
Maybe.
That's something like that.
Though, even last episode, there was quite a bit of racism there too. So, yay!
Yeah, it does in fact happen. It is Scooby-Doo. It's kind of ingrained. Sadly.
Yeah.
But
a lot of old cartoons, just copying each other.
Yeah.
So. Our disguises in this episode, we had the gambling at the riverboat with Scooby and Shaggy, and then once again we got the witch, decoy.
Yep. I would love to do a tally of whenever Scooby and Shaggy dress up, which of them is in drag. How often does it happen between the two of them? I truly think Scooby ends up in drag more often.
Oh no.
Every time we lose you.
Sorry.
It's in the middle of when you're talking every time. This is
my
going to be a
internet
joy
can't
to
take
edit.
it.
I already know.
I do really want that tally though of who's doing drag between the two of them.
I genuinely think it's Scooby more often.
No, I think you're right.
I believe
I absolutely
it.
think you're right. But I'm remembering one time where I think it was the Pirates Ahoy movie where Scooby and Shaggy dressed up as Daphne and Velma. Obviously, Shaggy was Daphne, Scooby's Velma.
Of course.
That's how that happened. I feel like they've done that before too.
I guess height-wise, that is closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking of an episode of Mystery Incorporated
where
they both did drag, I think.
Charlie, I found the picture that you're referring to.
Yeah,
Shaggy is Daphne and Scooby is Velma.
Yep, exactly.
Wild.
They say zoinks 4 times in the episode. This was the zoinks.
I think it's the most that's happened.
I think so too. Did I miss a Scooby Snacks bribe?
Yes.
When was that?
Yeah,
it
Scooby
was
ate
one.
Is when the zombie was grabbing his tail, I think.
Yeah, because Shaggy just throws it, and it just gives Scooby 2 seconds of "shut up, I'm confident now" to turn around and punch the zombie and take his tail and run. Turn tail and run.
Okay.
Ah.
Turn tail and run.
Where was that? I forgot. Okay.
It was right after the witch costume, because the zombie grabs Scooby's tail as they're in the witch costume and pulls him out of the costume.
And our most important Pia, there is in fact a Lego version of the zombie.
Nice.
So
of course there is.
Our red-eyed zombie. We love it. So, my friends, we must ask our questions for the episode. Whose side are we on here? Are we on the side of the gang, or are we on Zeb and Zeke's side?
Listen, I want the gay couple to live their happy life in the swamp, dressing in their costumes and, trying to, make themselves rich with their limited funds available. They're doing what they can. So I'm honestly on Zeke and Zeb's side for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this town was all that populated to begin with if it emptied out in 6 months of just a witch and a zombie.
I don't see them, hurting, many people with what they're doing in the swamp, though we didn't kidnap Daphne, so...
But, their hearts were barely in it. What, they kidnapped her and then just tied her up and threw a sheet over her? It's not that bad.
I don't know. They kidnapped a child.
But, they didn't, dangle her over a pit of alligators.
True.
They just left her somewhere for her friends to find.
Oh, Charlie, I need to find that video to see how many years that they would get for doing this.
You need to check. There's a video that we keep referencing in our episodes lately to see how many years in prison these people would get for all the crimes they commit in every single episode of Scooby-Doo. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. But we do need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
To do. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I will be very quick about this. This is episode 13. Let me fast forward to that. Okay. So let's see. Bank robbery, 20 years apiece. False imprisonment, 3 years apiece. And then menacing is apparently something you can get charged for.
Yep. I think we've gone over that one.
Yeah, I think we have too. So that lands them both with 35 years in prison.
Fun.
I feel like they don't deserve that.
Wow.
The armored car is a victimless crime. They kidnapped Daphne for all of 1 hour.
That's true.
It's not even like they went to the bank itself.
No.
They just hijacked the car. Who knows? Maybe one of them was actually working at the bank.
Yeah.
And they were driving the car. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think the plan was that
undecided.
bad.
I'm undecided of whose side I'm on. Because you're right. They're not the worst villains.
No,
and
definitely
I do love
not.
their little act going on here in the swamp. I think they could have done better things.
Yeah, though I do agree with Haley that they should have turned into more of a tourist trap instead of trying to scare people away. Because while you're looking for the armored car, you still need to make some money.
Exactly.
What would be super tragic is if they had talked about that, had always talked about that, revitalizing this little podunk town in the middle of fucking nowhere. As soon as we find the money in that truck, we're gonna fix up our shitty old boat and turn it into a tourist attraction.
I love that for them.
Seven Seas Haunted Swamp Experience.
You know what? If that's what we think they're doing with the money, I'm on their side. They were gonna make it an experience.
I think as a podcast, that is our stance on what they were going to do with that money.
This is it. We love it.
Headcanon accepted.
So, was this a good mystery?
No.
Not really.
We only met one of them. Zeb didn't even speak, as Zeb at least.
No.
So
that's really all we get from him.
Nailed his lines, though.
Absolutely.
Listen, when you're doing everything else, you can't devote brain power to memorizing lines.
It's so sad that some of these are just not good mysteries. We'll get to some good mysteries eventually. It'll happen, I'm sure.
I mean, even the last episode was a relatively good mystery compared to other ones we've seen.
Relatively, yeah. Well, that's it for this episode of Scooby-Doo. Haley, where can the people find you if you'd like to be found?
There's not many places you can find me on the internet these days, at least not under my own name. But if you want to join the Deus Ex Media Patreon, do you guys have a Patreon for this show yet?
Not yet, no.
We're still early.
So if you want to join the Patreon for the network or for the restricted section or whatever, I do pop in on there every once in a while. Otherwise, you will only find me on the wind or in a bog.
This is true. Haley pops in like once every couple of months.
Yep.
You just like pop up like a bubble from the bog, like hello.
Yep,
Goodbye.
just a little methane gas, just bloop.
It's like, yes, I'm still alive. I'm going to go away now. Goodbye.
Fare thee well.
And just like that, she disappears from our pod. So sad.
Smoke of darkness, take me away from social media.
Well, all right, gang. We're gonna go split up and look for clues for our next mystery. Bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram.
Yeah, you can just like repeat the joke or
Yeah.
What, like now, or just like wait for an opening?
you can
You can
just
do it
right
now.
We can put that ending.
Which is which, and which is winch is the winch? Is it?
What if there was a wench
Which-
in this too? Or like a wrench?
I mean, there is technically Daphne.
True.
Is wench derogatory?
I don't know. I feel like it's derogatory in like a service industry
like it
sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it means whore. I think it just means like waitress. Like
Yeah.
Like a
okay, because I've
shitty-
heard in the context of like bar wench.
yeah,
Right?
that's what I'm thinking. Like
So-
it feels more like garçon, but like for
okay.
busty women.
Yeah.
No, wait. Okay, so a quick Google says the first meaning is just a girl or a woman. The second one is a prostitute.
Huh.
Oh,
So
okay.
Well, that's fucking varied.
I mean, this is a serving girl of sorts.
Yeah.
So
Depends on what
there's-
you want served, my dude.
There's services changing hands, so to speak.
yeah, I swear I thought it was just a waitress too. I thought you were right, Haley.
Yeah.
Of course, it also means prostitute. I love that. The more you know.
Oh well.
The
I
more
guess that
you
explains
know.
why they're always so busty.
Yeah.
That's true.
This is true. Anyway, so Haley, the way we like to start these is I kind of set the scene for like if this was a true crime podcast, and then we just goof off the rest of the time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll go through the episode like as it happens. We talk about some trivia and
Yeah.
ask some other questions.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we gotta have our spooky intro,
Yes.
and then goof off.
Fantastic.
Of course.
And I think you got a good one here. So
Oh, I definitely do. This is definitely one of the better scene-setting cold opens we've gotten so far.
Mhm.
All right, so let's see here. I'm trying to think of the right words for this. Okay.